Hello viewers, welcome to our lecture series on marketing management, and in today's lecture of mine I am going to tell you about another emerging dimension of marketing, which is being called as retailing. And this domain has become so emergent and so significant that now it has actually been been discussed as a specific domain of study. Within the marketing, we are actually talking about retailing as a subject, as a domain, because of its increasing significance and importance. That's why I thought of having a discussion on this very topic of retailing with you. And in this series of lectures on marketing management, I'll be telling you about what exactly we understand by the term retailing, what is the nature and different types of retailing we are witness to, what is there going on into the Indian retailing industry. Because when we talk about Indian retailing industry, we divide it into two parts, that is, one is organized one, another is unorganized retailing. And what is the proportion of organized retailing, that also we will be discussing here. And eventually I will let you know about the recent trends, the emerging trends in retailing, which are very much there in practice and which are actually redefining the entire domain of marketing and retailing. When we talk about retailing as a domain of marketing, or when we talk about retailing as an industry, where the recent trends are actually crafting the entire face of marketing of 21st century. So you must have a doubt in your mind that what is retailing all about. Are we going to talk about channels of distribution, which we had already discussed, wherein we were talking about distributing products from marketers to the customers? Of course, that is something which is already there in terms of wholesaling and retailing when we talk about channels of distribution. But when we talk about retailers, we are actually hinting towards or indicating towards the entities or the channel partners who are in direct contact with the customers, whose duty is to ensure the timely delivery of products and services, or what you call as values, to the customers as per their convenience. And we all understand that out of 4 P's, that is product, price, place and promotion, this retailing is actually forming part of place only, that is the channels of distribution, which is going to ensure the timely delivery of products and services. So retailing, if I have to define, I would say it includes any activity or all the activities which are being performed in order to sell goods or services, either directly to final consumers for personal or non-business usage. So we are actually going to talk about delivery of products or services directly to the final consumers, what you call as end users. So when I am delivering goods or services to the consumers who are buying it for their personal use, or that is called non-business usage, of course that is called retailing. And if we have to define the term retailing, retailing means breaking the bulk, that you are actually going to break the bulk. Manufacturer cannot provide the products to the customers in their desired quantities. It is a retailer who is going to ensure or make sure that products are being delivered to the customers in their desired quantity at their desired place, because they have their own channels of presence there, and they are offering the products and services to their customers. So it actually includes all activities. You name any activity which is there to ensure the selling of goods or services directly to final consumers, that would actually form part of retailing. So when we talk about retailing, of course it is the activity which is going to ensure the delivery of products and services to the end users. And when I have to define retailer, I would say a retailer or retail store is any business enterprise whose sales volume comes primarily from retailing. So if my sales volume is primarily coming from the sale to end users or to the ultimate customers, then of course I am a retailer. So majority of my sales volume, or I would say ki my entire sales volume, should come from retailing only, that I am offering the products and services to the end users. It means I am a retailer. So any organization selling to final consumers, whether it is a manufacturer or it is a wholesaler or it is retailer, you can call that yes, they are doing retailing. So it is not compulsory that suppose if I am selling the products and services and I am also the manufacturer of that particular product, so I won't be called as a retailer. So that is a myth. If I am performing that activity of breaking the bulk, It means if I am providing the products and services to the end users, then of course I am into the business of retailing as well. So I have multiple roles to play. Apart from manufacturing, wholesaling, I am also doing the retailing. There are number of examples where marketers are in direct contact with the customers. Manufacturers are in direct contact with the customers, and they are also performing the role of a retailer. So you have to understand, you have to keep this thing in mind, that retailing is actually an activity which ensures the transfer of goods and services to the end users. And no matter whether you are a manufacturer or you are a wholesaler or you are a channel partner, but if you are offering the products and services to the end users for their own consumption, then of course you are a retailer, because you are performing that activity of a retailer, which is very likely of a retailer to ensure the products and services to the end users or to the ultimate consumers, or anybody who is not buying it for resale or who is buying it for non-business purposes, which means it is going to be of personal use for myself. If I am buying a product, I am a customer, I am the end user, and the person who is offering that product is going to be a retailer. So it does not matter how the goods or services are sold. It can be in person, it can be by mail, it can be by telephone. So the via actually is immaterial to us. It hardly matters that how the goods and services are sold. What matters is that the goods are being transferred to the customers or to the end users. It can be sold out by the way of vending machines. It can be sold online. It can be posted online and then being sold out to the end users, or where it can be a store, it can be on street, it can be sold out, it can be in the consumer's home, depending upon the type of product and the channel of distribution you are resorting to. But if you are offering that product to the end users, it means you are a retailer. Even if the vending machine which is offering the products to the end users, that is also called as a retailing vending machine, because they are actually offering the products or services to the end users or to the customers. So it hardly matters how it is being distributed or how it is being sold out or where it is being sold out. What matters is the activity, the act of transferring of goods and services to the end users. So in nutshell, we can say that retailing is basically the set of it's a set of business activities which adds value to the products and services sold out to consumers for their personal or family use. It can be for their personal use or it can be for their family use, and that is why when we define the term consumer and customer in the marketing domain, we always say that consumers are those who are actually consuming the product, and customers are those people who are buying. So it is not compulsory that the consumers are customers as well, but yes, the customers may buy it for somebody else's, somebody else who is there in the family. So I can either buy for myself or for my family members, then of course I would be regarded as consumers, as a consumer or as a customer. So retailing is basically the set of business activities which is adding value to the products and services which are being sold out to consumers for their personal usage or for their family usage. So often people think of retailing only as the sale of products. Some people think that after going through the definition of retailing, do you think that retailing is all about selling of products only? We can say that yes, selling is something which is being done there. It is the soul of the entire retailing activity. But some people who think that retailing only as a sale of products in stores, but we have to understand that retailing also involves the sale of services. It is not confined to physical products only, it is confined to any offering. An offering may be in terms of person, place, activity, organization or idea. So we cannot confine it to physical products. It can move on to the services, it can be for any activity, it can be an organization, it can be an idea. So regardless of the type, whether it is a product or it is service, it retailing includes the transfer of the services or the products from the seller to the end users or to the ultimate users. Now the question comes, what is the role of a retailer in a supply chain? If we look at the entire supply chain, which is being considered as a third P of marketing mix, that is place, we have to understand that what significant role these retailers are playing in the supply chain management. Before I proceed to explain it to you that what is the role of a retailer in a supply chain, let me tell you that it is very dynamic in nature, and with the passage of time, every day we are finding a new service being offered by the retailers, a new role being played by the retailers, and those roles are really very significant and very important for the end users or for the customers. So nowadays we can say that we cannot imagine the purchase of a product without the presence of retailers to some extent, and I need to reiterate here, remind you here that the place hardly matters whether it is being sold out in a physical store or it is being sold out online. It hardly matters. What matters is the person who is, or the entity who is offering the product to the end users or to the customers. It means the person is in the role of a retailer. So their role is being defined in terms of a retailer based on their own activities, their own performance, their own duties which they are performing. So we have to understand, my dear learners, that if you look at the entire supply chain, it is basically a set of firms which make and deliver goods and services to end users or to customers. So supply chain is there to ensure the supply or the transfer of goods and services from manufacturer to the end users. That is called supply chain, because it is ensuring, the chain is actually ensuring the supply of goods and services from manufacturer or retail or wholesalers to retailers, and then eventually the end users, or what you call as customers. So if I have to exemplify the supply chain, I can show it like this, that manufacturer is manufacturing the product, then it is going to the wholesaler, because manufacturer normally they don't resume the responsibility of performing the activities of a wholesaler. So what they do is they are actually they actually transfer this entire role of transferring the goods and services to the final consumers or to the end users by simply giving this responsibility to the wholesalers, and these wholesalers, they are buying in bulk from the manufacturers, or you can say that they resume or assume the entire responsibility of distributing the products among the customers from the hands of the manufacturers, or what you call as the marketers. So these wholesalers in turn, they are actually offering the product in lesser quantity as compared to what they had purchased from manufacturers. Suppose I am purchasing say 10,000 units from a manufacturer and I am a wholesaler, then I cannot expect my retailer to buy more than 1,000 units at a time. So retailer would actually purchase from me as a wholesaler as and when they would need, and in the quantities which is preferred by them, depending upon the the extent of demand in the market. They are actually having their own demand. So wholesaler would actually provide the products to retailers, and these retailers are basically breaking the bulk and offering the products and services to the end users in their desired quantities. Suppose if a retailer is dealing in toothpaste, and the retailer has bought 100 units of toothpaste, then of course customer is not going to buy 100 units of toothpaste at one point of time. They would always buy one or to the max 2 units of that particular product. So retailer is there to provide the goods to the customers in their desired quantities. So they would offer the product in their desired quantity, and this is the basic role which is being played by retailers in the supply chain. So if we look at the entire supply chain of product or services, wherein we have only two partners between the manufacturer and final consumers, that is wholesaler and retailer. There can be number of sub partners there. There can be agent, there can be wholesaler 1, 2, 3, and then there can be number of retailers also to be present there. But yes, the entire supply chain which is there in front of us is basically to ensure the channels activity. We have to ensure that the channel is being given the responsibility of distributing the products and services to the end users, or what you call as final consumers. So here we have to understand that in this entire supply chain management, the role of retailer is very significant. retailers are actually the face of the marketer, because they are the one who are in direct contact with the customers. So, the end users are actually talking to the retailers only, and they assume or presume that retailer is actually representing the manufacturer or the marketer. For them, the retailer is the real marketer of that particular product or service. So, manufacturers typically they design and make products and they sell them to retailers or wholesalers. They are simply there into the designing and product development activity. They confine themselves to the role of manufacturing or producing the product, and they are simply giving away this role of distribution to either to wholesalers or to retailers. Some of the marketers they are actually giving it to wholesalers, majority is giving it to wholesalers, but some of them they may prefer to sell them to retailers also. But yes, their responsibility is to their major work is to design and make the products, not to sell them, not to transfer them to end users or ultimate customers. So, wholesalers they are basically engaged in buying, they are actually buying the product, they are taking the title, at times they often store them, because they do have the storage facility with themselves, and they are often storing and physically handling goods in large quantities, and then eventually reselling these goods to the retailers or other businesses. So, if you look at the role of a wholesaler and retailer in the entire channels of distribution, you would find that the role differs in terms of quantity only. That when it comes to the purchase by wholesaler, they are buying in greater quantities, in larger quantities as compared to what retailers are doing. So, wholesalers are basically buying the products from the manufacturers in large quantities, in huge quantities, and then they are reselling the goods to the retailers, and these retailers they usually buy from wholesalers in smaller quantities. They do not buy in that bulk as their wholesaler counterparts are doing. So, wholesaler of course, they are buying in large quantities as compared to what retailers are doing. Their quantities on the higher side, and retailers are buying in smaller quantities, and eventually the retailers they are selling it to the customers in their desired quantity, and the desired quantity is normally usually it is a single unit only. So, if you look at the role of a retailer, it is basically an act of patience, where the retailer has had to or has to maintain the patience in this entire supply chain. They cannot afford to assume that customer is going to buy in bulk. Rather, their identities, because of breaking the bulk only, they would always sell in smaller quantities, or the quantities which are desired by the customers. So, most supply chain features most of the supply chains they feature some vertical integration, although there are 2 or 3 types of integrations which are being discussed in marketing. One is vertical integration, another is backward, third one is forward integration. I will tell you what those integrations are, but most supply chains they actually feature some vertical integration. Now, I have to tell you what is vertical integration all about. When I talk about vertical integration, it actually means that the marketer is performing more than one set of activities in the channel. So, as a marketer, when I am performing more than one activity in the channel, it means I am basically having a vertical integration. So, I can perform more than one activity. I am a manufacturer, but I do perform the duty of a retailer. It means there is a vertical integration, wherein I am performing more than one duty at a time in the given channels of distribution. But if we look at the backward channel of distribution or backward integration, it actually arises when a retailer performs some wholesaling and manufacturing activities. Suppose I am a retailer and I do perform the duty of a wholesaler or at times manufacturer also. It means there is a backward integration, which means I am actually going back from the present role of mine. I am a retailer, and then I am actually integrating my activities towards the back. That is why we call it backward integration. So, being a retailer, if I am going back, I am taking care of the role of wholesaler or manufacturer, then of course, that this integration is called as backward integration. And of course, if I am manufacturer and I do perform the activity of a retailer or wholesaler, then of course I would be this very act of mine would be called as forward integration. It occurs when a manufacturer undertakes the role of retailing and wholesaling activities. For instance, if I take example of Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is basically operating its own retail stores. So apart from doing the manufacturing activities, they do have their own retail stores. So they are not only manufacturing, but also they are into the distribution of their products and services, and this is the best example of forward integration. If we take example from US, we can take name of Ralph Lauren, which is operating its own retail stores in different areas, and this is the best example of forward integration. So it can be a backward integration, it can be forward integration, depending upon the resources available with the manufacturer or the retailer. Suppose I am a retailer and I do have significant resources or capital available with me, I do have my own presence in different parts of the world, then I can make good use of those resources and I can go for backward integration. Now same is the case of manufacturers also. Suppose you are a manufacturer and you do have significant amount of resources, capital, your market reach is excellent, then of course you can think of extending your activities from manufacturer to wholesaler and eventually to the retailers also. So that is the best example of what you call as forward integration. So it can be vertical, it can be forward integration, it can be a backward integration, depending upon the role which you are going to assume. Now the question comes, what is the need of having retailers when we do have our own wholesalers available with us? The simplest answer to this question is that retailers do create value. They are actually creating value, not only adding value. At times you would find that they are creating values for the customers. So some questions which comes in front of us are why are retailers needed? What is the need of having retailers? So some people also ask this question, won't it be easier and cheaper to buy directly from manufacturers? Some people think that these retailers, they actually carve out the significant amount of margin from the manufacturers and wholesalers. So don't you think that it would be easier and cheaper to buy directly from the manufacturers? What is the point of having these retailers? So these questions are there in front of us, which are to be answered by a marketer, or we would say retailers, when they are talking about their own significance, their own role in this entire supply chain. So these if we look at the values which are being created by retailers, you can imagine, you can understand their significant role which is being played by them in the entire value chain. If we look at the best of the service is that they are the first service and or the simplest service which they are offering is that they are providing an assortment of products and services to the end users or to the customers. So they are basically keeping an assortment of assorted goods or the products and services with themselves. So they are providing you the variety of products at one place. If you go to a retailer, they are not only keeping they are not only maintaining the inventory of only one brand. They always try to provide all the options to their potential customers. So those who are visiting their store, or even if it is online shopping, then too they have to maintain the requisite quantum of every brand which is being sold out in the market. So the first value creation activity is that they are offering an assortment of products and services. Second is, of course, they are breaking the bulk. You need not to buy in bulk if you are going to a retailer. Unlike the wholesalers, where if you go, they may restrict themselves to this, that yes, you cannot buy less than these many units of the products. So they won't be offering you the products in your desired quantity. So it is the second most significant service or value creation which is being done by the retailers, that they are breaking the bulk. They are the one who are actually offering the products and services to the customers, to the end users in their desired quantity. they are also holding the inventory. They are maintaining huge quantum of inventory with them, because you never know that when customer is going to demand a specific product. So as and when the demand comes, they are actually maintaining the inventory, and they are in a position to provide the products in desired quantity at desired time and place to the end users. And of course, while doing so, they are offering services also. They are providing different other types of services. At times customers wish to have a detailed information about a product. So it is the retailer who is actually providing all those services, all those informations to the end users, to the customers, or you can say that they are the one who are actually handling the inhibitions and doubts of the end users or the customers. So if we look at the value creation which is being done by these retailers, we can very well understand that what is the reason of their increasing significance in the entire supply chain management. If you look at the entire supply chain, the value of the significant role of retailers cannot be undermined, it cannot be discounted. Reason being that they are in direct contact with the customers, and they are not only providing the products in their desired quantity, but they are also holding inventory. They are offering different other types of services which are at times which you can't even imagine that yes, this is the service which my retailer has provided to me. If you look at the world's top retailers in terms of their largest presence, we can find the name of Carrefour, which belongs to France, originated in France. Then comes Walmart from US, Tesco from UK, Metro AG from Germany, the Home Depot from US. So these are the retailing institutions, retailing organizations, companies which are being called as the retailing stalwarts of the world, and they are offering the products and services to the customers depending upon their own requirement. So imagine that Walmart is being known for its own presence, its quality, and the features which is being offered by it. Now, after having a discussion on this entire retailing, what exactly we mean by the retail and the retailing activities, the value creation which is being done by them. Now it's time for us to understand what is there into the Indian retail industry. So if we look at the size of Indian retail industry, it is one of the fastest growing industry in the world, and India has ranked 63 in the World Bank's ease of doing business index. If we look at the index published in the year 2023, and India's direct selling industry is expected to be valued at 7.77 billion US dollar by the end of 2025, which is actually the current year. And the Indian retail sector in 2024, it saw the opening of over 750 new stores and a total of rupees 12,000 crores. And if we convert this value in US dollars, it would be 1.38 billion dollars. They were raised. If we look at this data is actually compiled by the Indian Retailing Insights, and it is published at IBEF, that is India Brand Equity Foundation. And India's retail market, if we look at its expansion, its size from 35 lakh crores to, it was in the year 2014, it was 35 lakh crore rupees business it was giving, and in the year 2024 it expanded to rupees 82 lakh crore rupees, which is if we calculate it in terms of percentage, the growth rate is coming to be 8.9% per annum. And this is basically a data based on the data published by the Boston Consulting Group and Retailers Association of India. So all these statistics, my dear learners, they speak volumes about the rising significance of the retailing industry. If we talk about the Indian retailing sector, of course the rate of growth is very high and very positive, which actually makes this entire domain of retailing the most significant one. So the remaining part of retailing and its broad contours I would be presenting before you in the next lecture of mine. Thank you so much.